So all right, buckle up my friends, because today I'm telling you the jaw-dropping true story of one of the boldest scams in history. This isn't some small-time scheme. This is a $191 million international con that fooled one of Brazil's biggest banks. And at the center, a man named Emmanuel Nwude, a Nigerian banker turned con artist. It's the early 1990s in Nigeria. Emmanuel Nwude isn't your average street hustler. He's a former director at Union Bank of Nigeria. He knows banking inside and out. He knows international finance, and he knows exactly where the loopholes are. But Nwude isn't thinking small. He's aiming for a massive payday. So, who's his target? Banco Noroeste, one of Brazil's most respected banks, eager to expand into African markets. And here's the genius and the danger of the plan. Nwude doesn't attack the bank directly. He creates an opportunity too good to resist. First, Nwude and his crew impersonate Paul Ogwuma. He's the real governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, one of the most powerful financial figures in the country. They create fake investment documents, stamped contracts, forged letters on official government stationery, confidential-looking telexes promising insider access to a secret deal. But here's the critical piece. The man on the Brazilian side, the insider Nwude needed to pull this off, was Nelson Sakaguchi, a director at Banco Noroeste. Sakaguchi was head of the bank's international operations. He was the one Nwude and his team approached, lured with promises of massive commissions and exclusive investment opportunities. The deal? A $242 million contract to build a brand new state-of-the-art airport in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. The pitch was simple. Banco Noroeste could fund the project up front. Once Nigeria secured international financing, the bank would make a fortune in profits and interest. To make it all believable, they went the extra mile. They showed blueprints, doctored photographs of supposed construction progress. They even set up in-person meetings where paid actors posed as Nigerian officials. Over time, Nwude's team carefully built trust. They sent forged telexes confirming payments. They gave detailed progress updates, and they spun tales of government delays, making the bank even more desperate not to lose its investment. Sakaguchi bypassed internal checks and kept his superiors in the dark, convinced that the payout would make both him and the bank rich beyond imagination. And by the late 1990s, Banco Noroeste had wired over $191 million. But here's where the scam fell apart. In the late 1990s, Spanish banking giant Banco Santander prepared to acquire Banco Noroeste. As accountants reviewed the bank's books, they found something shocking. Where the hell did this $191 million investment go? Alarm bells rang. Brazilian authorities and Interpol got involved. After the fraud was exposed, Sakaguchi was arrested, first in the United States, then extradited to Switzerland, where he was convicted and served over a year in prison. Banco Noroeste, crushed by the financial hole left by the scam, collapsed in 2001, one of the largest banking failures in Brazilian history. But here's the key question. Why didn't they just arrest Nwude immediately? Because this was a cross-border scam. The victims were in Brazil, while the scammers were sitting comfortably in Nigeria. And back then, Nigeria was under military rule, so there was almost no political will to chase elite fraudsters. So while Banco Noroeste collapsed under the weight of the scam, Nwude and his team lived it up. They bought luxury cars, mansions, poured money into local politics, and they protected themselves with bribes and influence. It wasn't until 2003 that things changed. Nigeria's new president, Olusegun Obasanjo, created the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC. It was designed to clean up Nigeria's battered reputation and go after major financial crimes. Interpol and Brazilian investigators sent over mountains of evidence, including telex records, fake contracts, forged documents, and insider testimonies. In 2004, the EFCC had had enough. They swooped in and arrested Nwude, along with Amaka Anajemba, Nzeribe Okoli, and several others. This became Nigeria's first ever high-profile financial crime trial. The courtroom drama was wild. Amaka Anajemba pleaded guilty, returning $25 million, while Nwude fought fiercely, hiring top lawyers and trying to delay the case. But in 2005, justice caught up with him. Nwude was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison. But here's the shocking part. Even after prison, a huge chunk of the stolen money was never recovered. And Nwude? He went right back home and re-established himself as a powerful local figure. But in 2016, his past caught up with him again. He was rearrested, this time over a violent land dispute that left several people dead. If you found this as wild as I did, smash that like button and hit subscribe.